Hey, it's Kos here. In today's video, I'd love to share with you how you can A/B split test your Facebook ads like a pro and get the best bang for your buck. Whether you're running an e-commerce campaign, you want to get a little bit like higher ROAS, or you want to reduce your cost per lead, cost per call, you're going to get a lot of value from this video. Or if you're a media buyer yourself, you're managing accounts for either your clients or for your company, you're going to get a lot of value from this, because I personally managed accounts from 8 to 9 figure brands. I've managed millions in dollars in ad spend. Very fortunate. And through this experience, I've been put in every single chokehold Mark Zuckerberg had on me, from successful campaigns out of a sudden flop through iOS, from being banned on Facebook, all sorts of crazy stuff. From turning those around and then having amazing months. So it's been a wild ride, and I want to boil things down to simplicity and really give you a kick-ass structure and ways so you can split test like ads creative, headlines, etc. And not only on Facebook, like what I want to achieve on this channel and all of the videos that I produce, I want to have them a long shelf life. So I don't want to just give you some CBO hack or some cost bid cap structure, whatever, that just gives you a little bit of performance and then it fizzles out and then you can kind of like start all over. I really want to give you principles. I want to talk about human psychology, direct response, really the core fundamentals of the components of a successful campaign. And it's going to be more and more important you understanding this, because there's so many videos on YouTube. It's just all about like that quick hack, that quick quick opportunity to make some money, and then it's just like once that opportunity is over, you're pretty much starting all over. And it's a very interesting time we're living in right now, right? So over the last like 20-30 years, everything changed due to the internet. And like we started with print ads, and now I took a photo here in a train in Melbourne. Everyone's glued to their cell phone. So in essence, like humans haven't really changed. It used to be a newspaper, now it's a cell phone, and we're transitioning now in the meta, right? In like the metaverse world, where people are engaging, doing all sort of activities and hobbies and like potentially work inside the virtual world. So, and the reason why this is upcoming, obviously, Meta, Facebook, they've identified the demand and they're really pushing hard on, you can see their ads for the VR headsets, and they're developing the world, putting a lot of money behind it. And they know, because they know why, right? Because there is a demand. A lot of people are going to use this, and when people starting to use this, it's going to be an opportunity for Meta, Facebook, for Mark Zuckerberg to monetize that attention and give us advertisers a platform, a dashboard where we can potentially put some ads and advertise on this platform as well. So the way you want to scientifically split test, and this is across literally everything, you can apply this principle across landing pages, across TikTok ads, Facebook ads, Google ads, whatever new platform is going to come. The key thing here is to understand is that with scientific split testing, you have a bunch of variables, and you want to isolate one specific variable that you want to test. You want to put some money behind that test, and this will allow you to understand, for instance, this is a landing page. Right here, you're testing option A versus option B, and the only difference here, everything is exactly the same, but for instance, the headline, the main needle mover, that's the thing that you split test. So you could split test headline A versus headline B. One is going to be better than the other one, and then you continue with headline B. And then you can split test, for instance, images on that particular landing page, or another variable, right? And the exact same thing you want to do with your Facebook ads. And if we look at the components of a Facebook ad, and it's actually surprisingly, it hasn't changed that much compared to newspaper ads. It's pretty funny. I'm going to show you in a second, right? So I collect print ads, And this is a campaign from David Ogilvy for the Hathaway shirt, right? So this is a campaign that has lasted 17 years, which is why I find it interesting to read this and to study this, because most businesses these days haven't even existed for this long. This company is now, I think they sold it, or it wasn't profitable any longer, but it has existed for like 100 years. And this campaign itself has lasted like 17, 18 years, something like that, something crazy. So you can see the constant trend, right? So they're selling the shirt, and then it's just a constant, the variables are changing here. So they're telling different stories about the shirt, about the type of cotton, like all sort of things that they introduce. But in essence, it's just a shirt, right? So, and you can see the components of the ads, right? So it's the creative, the headline, and the body copy. So those are your variables, in particularly with Facebook ads. So creative, headline, and the body copy. And yeah, have a look at this. Have a look at the ad, right? So you've got basically the exact same structure. You've got the creative, you've got the headline, and you've got the lead in with the body copy. So it's really exact same structure and format. It's just like everything has transitioned into the digital world, that's why I've showed you before. And the same thing with Google ads, YouTube ads, right? Like if you run, for instance, a YouTube ad, the main things that you want to test is usually it's like 3 to 10 seconds. You've got the hook, you've got the story, which is about like 1 to 3 minutes. And then like you've got the close, 20 seconds, something like that. And here you've got, again, 3 components, which is like your hook, the sort of like the body copy, the story, and then the close. And the same thing with Google ads, right? You've got headlines and you've got like the description, which is like 80 characters. So identify the components of each ad, and then you create a bunch of variables. Now for Facebook, what I recommend is, if you're completely new to this, I don't want to overwhelm you. Like, I test a lot of creatives. So for instance, right here, I'm already like at 240 creatives or something like that. And these are all images I use, videos, images that I use to find the best performing creative. And then I match it with a headline and a body copy to get the best possible performance. So it becomes like a crazy scientific split test where you constantly improve and improve and improve to get the winning campaign. It's never like you just launch things once and then it's all sorted, which is absolutely not the case. You always want to be testing. You always want to improve your headlines, your images. But initially, all you really need is like one body copy, 5 headlines, potentially like 3 images, or if you've got a video, like 2-3 images and 1 video as a split test. And this gives you basically 10 variations to test, right? 1 times 5 times 3, or 15 variations. And you want to put some money behind it to identify the best performing kind of like batch of the initial split test. So what you might find is that body copy 1, headline 3, and image 1, that is the winner of this badge. And now once you find this particular winner, you want to split test it over various age brackets, various interests in a different campaign. So this is basically what I mean, right? So here we've got, just zoom in for you a little bit. So this is what I mean with isolating variables, right? So we have here a combination of image 223, we've got body copy 19, and we've got headline 40. So what I'm doing right here is solely split testing the headlines, keeping the body copy and the images constant, And as you can see, the performance is pretty crazy. The differences are huge. We've got headline 38 is performing, is giving the cheapest cost per lead. Headline 39 here is also a really good one. As you can see, a lot of the other headlines aren't getting any spend allocated to them, which is also an indication that's just it's just not the winner. That's why you wanna split test things this way. So then moving into the ad sets, just the naming convention is something that you must have consistent and super clean throughout the account. Why? Because especially if you run lead generation campaigns, you want to identify which leads, which creatives, which headlines have resulted in a sale on the back end. And this can only be done, and this is, for instance, data I've got from one lead in ClickFunnels. As you can see, within the additional info, I can find, and this can be done with UTM sources, and you can see that it came from ad account 4, it came from an ad set that has been launched on the 6th of October. This is the interest stack that we've used. And you can see the UTM, you can see the ad creative as well, image 223, body copy 19, and headline 38. So if down the line this has turned into a sale, we know exactly which particular creative has caused the lead and eventually the sale. And then you can choose to spend more. You can choose to put more money behind that particular creative because, yeah, it proved that it worked on the back end. So the structure I love to use is I've got always an ads library where basically this is where you do the initial split testing of the images, body copies, and the headlines. As soon as you find a winner, for instance, right here, we've already identified headline 39 and 38 are really, really strong. Then you can move them into a different campaign, which is the main top of funnel campaign, and you proceed with testing of the age brackets and interests. And then you can, once you've got some, like after approximately $2,000-3,000 in total ad spend, you can start doing remarketing, and that's just like remarketing people that have seen your ads already and have went to the website but did not become a lead or did not become a purchase. That's what we find kind of like the range when remarketing becomes effective. And the bottom of funnel is where you can remarket, for instance, existing purchases or existing leads and offer them something else, right? So in our particular case, we want more calls. So everyone that has become a lead but did not become booked in a call with us, we remarket them with a separate ad, right? So that's really the whole structure. Love to show you the actual ad account as well. So just right here, testing things on a lower ad spend, and as you can see, the cost per lead has been super low. We are targeting Australia. You can see that based off the CPMs, and the click-through rates are through the roof, 4.55%. I'm going to show you the ads in a moment as well. So super cheap clicks and overall pretty good performance. Now, the thing that I'm noticing though is on the telephone, the lead quality, sometimes I'm getting a bit of older people, a little bit like not qualified people specifically for the personal development offer that we currently have. And that's okay, right? Because we started with creatives and launched them towards an open range bracket, 18 to 65, just to identify the winning headlines, body copies, and creatives. And now we notice this on the telephone. We can further improve the quality of the leads by, for instance, only targeting men 25 to 35 years old, for instance, if that makes sense, right? So as you can see, pretty strong initial results. I just want to show you the difference in headlines as well. Right here, like you can see the performance across different headlines, and as I've mentioned, like with this specific test, we've done split testing only the headlines, keeping the creatives and the body copies isolated. And here's just one of the ads that I want to show you. So yeah, we've got the strong lead in, ready for a better life, and then myself with a picture when I was picking fruit, avocados, bananas, and then manifested a pilot license and kind of like now living in the apartment of my dreams. So, and the headline is an ex-banana picker reveals 5 simple steps to manifest your wildest dreams, right? So, true story, but because it has so much storytelling appeal and so much curiosity, we're able to get a really strong performance and really cheap clicks, really engaged audience. Even we're paying $53 CPM, which is actually quite expensive. But because the ad and the creative and the headlines are super strong, we're able to get away with that and kind of like, really get a good performance and a really strong cost per lead right here. And the reason why this is because, like as I mentioned, you want to focus on really the fundamentals. You don't want to focus on a specific cost per bid target or CBO or whatever that is. You really want to find, you want to understand your target audience. You want to focus on their desires and write persuasive copy to get them take the specific action that you want, whether it is clicking on your ad, opting into your landing pages, booking a call, and throughout your whole funnel and throughout your whole website and like framework, you want to apply psychology and direct response. So one tip that I have, and this is something that I love doing, is just reading old print ads, which you can find on swipe.co as well, to get some inspiration on specific headlines, specific hooks. And yeah, here's one of the ones that I've previously showed you, the man in the Hathaway shirt from David Ogilvy. Another one right here is this one is it's a kick-ass headline. This one right here. So it's an ad for a Zippo for lighter, and it's the amazing story of a Zippo that worked after being taken from the belly of a fish, right? So there is always a way to, whatever it is that you're selling, there's always a way to market it in an exciting way that is genuine to you, and add a little bit like spice to the advertising. Tell an amazing story either about yourself or how you started your brand, why it is that you're currently doing, and this way it will give you the best possible results. It will give you the best results for your advertising campaign. By the way, this one right here, I've got them right here as well. So it's something that I love doing, reading through. If you're into storytelling, David Ogilvy is amazing to study his work. A little bit more direct response-ish, a little bit more grabbing headlines, a little bit like filthy direct response is Gary Halbert. His newsletters are all on his website, thegaryhalbertletter.com. You can find all of his newsletters, and you can find that like all of his kind of like structure is still being modeled after by a lot of the direct response marketers these days. And you can read through and you can see how they've been selling, successfully products for many decades. And it's just all about finding people that have spent like 30-40 years in a specific craft, right? For instance, I came in as a novice copywriter, I haven't got the experience like David Ogilvy or Gary Halbert. So it's always good to study study the legends in your specific field, and kind of like get some golden nuggets from those. So I'd love to finish off, yeah, maybe a little bit, just to show you a little bit like how to actually set this one up. If you're completely new to Facebook ads, you want to go ahead and just create an ad, leads. In this particular case, if you optimize for purchases, that is amazing. So all of the naming conventions have to be super precise. You don't want to you want to keep your campaigns super clean. You want to know, you want to keep things tight, because as you split test, as you go through these crazy split testing journey, you're going to have a lot of different variables, right? So you want to keep things clear, keep tight. And then the importance of this one is as well on the back end, when you're using UTMs, is that everything is just appearing clear on your CRM as well. If you're using different naming conventions throughout your campaigns, it's just going to appear super messy on the back end as well. And yeah, that's just important. That's the importance of keeping everything super clear. So we've got here the ads library, then within the ad sets itself. So for instance, whenever you want to start a campaign, let's say we schedule something for tomorrow, top of funnel, ad creatives we want to split test, an interest stack of coaches, let's just go with that one, and Australia. So you select your pixel, you go for the event, then you want to skip this. You can start your campaigns anywhere between $50 and $100 per day is a really good goal to have. You always want to launch things for the very next day at midnight. Australia, the age is 18 to 65. Coaching. Let's say you target coaches, consultants. There's a bunch of interests. I found that always just having one broad interest works the best. Just pick the biggest one. You can have like things like personal development, things like that. Like a lot of people will tell you that this is the most important thing. I've even noticed that even without having any interest, you can have amazing campaigns that scale super high, and you want to compensate this kind of lack of targeting with your copywriting, right? So again, it comes back to the skills. It comes back to understanding your target market, creating ads that are exciting with a lot of story appeal. It will give you the exact same results. So you don't have to compensate like the super broad targeting here. But nevertheless, one interest will do. So down below again, advanced placements after millions of managing an ad spend. I found that this one is the best. And then you go into the ad. You select the page right here. Give it an appropriate name. So let's say if you start with your very first image, you'll have image 1, image body copy 1, and headline 1. So this will be like your first kind of like creative, and then you duplicate it out, and you'll have like your headlines. You'll headline split test 4 and 5, and that will be your campaign. So let me just jump into this one quickly for you. So here's so here's me and my wife. So 100 image 152, body copy 19, and headline 33 or something. And then you want to insert your image. You want to insert your primary text, which is your body copy. and you want to have your headlines. So that will be the split test. A thing not to forget is your UTMs. And basically what the UTM does is it leaves a string of additional information so that you can find things on the back end, and you can find eventually which specific creative led to that sale on the back end. And that's why I previously mentioned the importance of having clean naming conventions, because otherwise, like, your back end is just going to be super messy. All the naming conventions is going to be different, and you won't be able to track those sales and refer them back to specific creatives. So I hope everything made sense. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Hope you've learned a lot. If you've got any questions down below, please leave them. I'd love to have a chat with you. Love to answer your remaining concerns. If you're interested in if you want to start running Facebook ads, if you already got a proven offer, a team of appointment setters and closers, and you want to help a little bit, you want to get a little bit of help with the ads, reach out. I'll leave a link down below to my profile, and we'll chat from here. So have an awesome day. Bye-bye. Kos.